sometimes the people you trust the most are the ones who break you in the places that take the longest to heal. I walked in on my wife in our bedroom, with another man. Our bed. Our space. The same bed where we dreamed of growing old, raised our babies, made promises that now feel like nothing. That day didn't just break my heart. It crushed the entire foundation of my family. But let me take you back. Back to the beginning. Because this kind of damage doesn't happen overnight. Before I go on, I want to thank everyone listening and watching. Your support, your likes, your comments, keep me going. Telling this story isn't easy. It's like peeling off a scab again and again. But knowing some of you find healing or warning in my words gives me the courage to be real. My name is John Carlson. I'm a 45-year-old white American man from Ohio. I've been working in warehouse logistics for nearly 20 years. I leave home at 5 a.m., sometimes don't come back for days. Not because I didn't love my family, God knows I did, but because I believed providing for them meant everything. Bills paid, food on the table, college funds growing, that was how I measured love. I never imagined that what I was missing at home was something money couldn't fix. My wife's name is Megan. She used to be my whole world. We met in our 20s. She had these deep green eyes and a laugh that could change a room. She made me feel like the luckiest guy alive. We dated for a year and married soon after. We had 2 kids. Ryan, our son, was born first. He's 16 now. Quiet. Smart. Loved baseball when he was younger. Then came Chloe, my baby girl. She's 14. Always so full of energy, always dancing around the house, giggling at her big brother. At least, she used to. We bought a house just outside of town. Small, cozy, near a good school. I was working long hours, but every night I came home, Megan made sure dinner was on the table, the kids were in bed, and everything felt right. Or so I thought. You see, when you spend your life trusting someone, you stop questioning them. You assume love is enough to protect you from betrayal. But love isn't blind. It's just easy to ignore the things you don't want to see. I started hearing things. It was little stuff at first. A neighbor, old Mrs. Langley, told me she saw a man leaving our house one afternoon. Megan brushed it off. Said he was a friend helping with the sink. Then I got a message from a coworker. Hey man, someone said they saw your wife at McGregor's bar the other night with some guy. I laughed it off. I told him, she probably went out with her girlfriends. Because I couldn't imagine Megan doing that to me. Not to our kids. Not after all we built together. But the rumors didn't stop. One day, Tony, a friend from work, pulled me aside. John, I need to tell you something, man. Look, I didn't want to get involved, but there's talk. People are saying Megan's been with a few different guys. Around the neighborhood. Even your kids. John, people say your kids are seeing it too. I stood there frozen. My blood boiled. I almost swung at him, not because I thought he was lying, but because part of me feared he was telling the truth. Still, I didn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Every time I came home, Megan was perfect. House clean. Meals hot. The kids polite. She'd wrap her arms around me like she missed me. Whisper sweet things in my ear. I thought, these people are jealous. They don't know our love. But something inside me wouldn't rest. So I did something I never thought I'd do. I bought 3 small CCTV cameras. Hidden. One facing the front door. One in the living room. One in the hallway upstairs. I told Megan I was fixing some wiring. She didn't ask questions. Then I made a plan. I told her I had to go on a 5-day work trip to Michigan. Told the kids too. Packed my bags, left just like I always did. But on the 3rd day, I came back. I didn't text. I didn't call. I parked my truck down the street, walked home like a stranger in my own life. I stood at that front door, shaking. I turned the knob slowly and stepped inside. It was too quiet. The kind of silence that screams something is wrong. The TV was on. There were 2 wine glasses on the table. A man's shoes near the stairs. My heart pounded so hard I felt it in my throat. I walked up those stairs like they were carrying me to my death. And when I opened the door to our bedroom, there she was. Megan. My wife. The mother of my children. Naked. On top of some guy I'd never seen in my life. Laughing. Moaning. Not a care in the world. My world collapsed. She screamed when she saw me. Jumped off the bed, covering herself with the blanket. The guy sat up in shock. Dude, I didn't know she was married. I didn't say a word. I turned around, walked downstairs, and sat on the couch. I couldn't even cry. I just stared at the family photo hanging on the wall. The 4 of us at the beach. Smiling. Pretending. Megan came down 10 minutes later, wearing a robe, her face pale. John. I'm sorry. It didn't mean anything. I laughed. Loud. Like a madman. It didn't mean anything. Megan, this is our house. Our bed. Our kids. And then I saw Ryan and Chloe standing at the bottom of the stairs. Ryan's fists were clenched. Chloe's eyes were red. She didn't look surprised. She looked exhausted. That was the moment I realized they already knew. They had seen it all. Every man that walked through our front door when I wasn't home. Every lie Megan told. Every moment their mother chose a stranger over her own children. I broke down. Not because of Megan. But because I'd let this happen to my kids. I thought I was doing the right thing by working hard, by providing. But I wasn't present. I wasn't there to protect them from the one person who was supposed to love them the most. And the damage had already been done. It wasn't just my heart that broke that day. It was my son's spirit. My daughter's innocence. And the foundation of our family that I thought would last forever. Some people think betrayal is a one-time thing, a moment. But that's a lie. The moment I caught Megan in our bed with another man, that was just the spark. The real fire started after. It took me weeks, months really, to even process what happened that day. I left the house the same evening. Checked into a motel down the road. I didn't scream. I didn't argue. I just shut down. Something inside me had died. But it wasn't about me anymore. It was about my kids. About what they had been living with, in silence. Let me say this again to everyone listening and watching, thank you. The fact that you've stayed with me through this story, commented, liked, even just listened quietly, it means more than I can say. These stories aren't easy to tell, but your support gives me the strength to face the truth. So thank you. That night in the motel, I stared at the ceiling, replaying every memory. Every hug from Megan. Every kiss. Every bedtime story with the kids. And then I'd see her face in that bed, laughing with that stranger, and I'd feel like throwing up. I didn't sleep at all. The next morning, I went back, not to confront Megan, but for Ryan and Chloe. I needed to talk to them. I needed to be their father again. They were both in the living room when I arrived. Megan wasn't home. Probably off with another man, for all I knew. Ryan was sitting on the couch, arms crossed. Chloe had her headphones in, staring at nothing. I sat down across from them. I said, "I'm sorry." That was the first thing out of my mouth. No long speech. No blaming. Just those 2 words. Ryan didn't say anything. But Chloe, she took out one earbud and whispered, "We thought you knew." I looked at her. Knew what? "That mom's been doing this for a long time," she said, her voice shaking. "Since I was 12. Maybe before. I saw men come in and out. Different ones. Some even tried to talk to me. Mom just laughed." My heart cracked in a way I didn't know was possible. Ryan stood up, angry. "You were never here, Dad. You didn't see it. I tried to tell you once and you brushed it off. You said I was being dramatic." He was right. I had failed them, not just by being gone but by trusting Megan so blindly that I couldn't see my own kids were drowning. Chloe started crying. I used to hate her. Then I just stopped feeling anything at all. I held them both that day, tighter than I had in years. I promised them I'd never let them go through anything like that again. But the truth was, the damage was already deep. Ryan changed. He stopped talking as much. Stopped playing baseball. He spent most of his time locked in his room, headphones in, barely eating. I tried everything, taking him to a game, sitting in his room for hours, telling him I loved him, but he was numb. One night, I found his notebook on the kitchen table. He'd been writing poetry. Dark stuff. About feeling invisible. About losing faith in people. I broke down. I realized then that emotional wounds don't bleed on the outside. They sit in silence and eat you alive. Chloe spiraled faster. She started skipping school. Hanging out with older boys. I found a pack of cigarettes in her bag one day, then later, weed. I grounded her, yelled, cried, begged. She stared at me like I was a stranger. One night, I followed her after school. She was sitting in the park with two older guys, laughing like nothing mattered. When I confronted her, she screamed at me in front of everyone. "You don't get to act like a dad now," she yelled. "Where were you when I was watching Mom screw men in our house?" Those words hit like a bullet. I took her home, sat her down, and for the first time told her the full truth, about the cameras, about how I found out, about why I was never around. She cried. I cried. We sat there in the dark, holding each other like two broken pieces trying to make something whole. Megan never came back. After I confronted her that night, she left. Said she needed space. Said she wasn't happy. She didn't even ask about the kids. Didn't check on them. Didn't fight for custody. Just disappeared. We later found out she had moved in with one of the men. Didn't even tell the kids goodbye. And as much as that hurt, it was also a strange kind of relief. Because now, at least, we could start healing. We started therapy. I found a local counselor, Miss Janine. She worked with broken families. She listened. Really listened. She helped us understand that trauma doesn't always show up as bruises or cuts, it shows up in silence, in anger, in rebellion, in distance. For months, we went every week. At first, Ryan barely spoke. Chloe was angry at everything. I was still trying to forgive myself. But slowly, very slowly, we started seeing change. Ryan opened up more. He started drawing again. He even went to a baseball game with me last month. Chloe. She's still healing. But she came to me last week and said, "I don't hate you anymore." That meant the world. Looking back, I still ask myself how I didn't see it. How did I miss the signs? How did I not notice my wife becoming a stranger? My children becoming shadows of who they once were? The answer is simple, I thought I was doing enough. I thought providing was love. I thought being a good man meant bills paid and clothes on their backs. But my family needed more than that. They needed presence. They needed attention. They needed someone to see through the lies before the house came crashing down. My final message. If you're a father out there listening, don't wait until it's too late to open your eyes. Don't wait until your child stops talking to realize they're hurting. Don't wait until your home is filled with strangers to realize you never really knew what was happening. Check in. Show up. Listen. And to anyone who's ever been betrayed, you're not alone. You can survive it. You can rebuild. But healing doesn't start until you face the truth, no matter how painful. Thank you again for listening. For watching. For supporting me. Your comments and encouragement help me stay honest, stay grounded, and keep telling these stories that matter. This was hard to tell. But I'm glad I did. Because if it helps one person out there avoid the pain my family went through, then it's worth it. This was my story. And maybe, just maybe, it's someone else's warning.